Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you know you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
What's up? It's your girl Drama Queen coming to you with another podcast episode. Now guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This podcast episode is very difficult for me to do because it hits home. It really hits home. I wanted to do a little bit more research before I just decided to dive into this topic, because this is something that I am a fighter for and believe in being an advocate for people that suffer with autoimmune diseases. And so you've more than likely seen the thumbnail, so you know what this video is about. So I want to give you a little bit of backstory on why this is something that I felt was important enough for me to take time and make a video, do research, and provide information just to the general public. And also for you guys to understand again why I am such an advocate for people that suffer with autoimmune diseases like myself. So essentially what happened was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about, how the children are doing, what's going on with the children. And I was made aware that one of the children that's in the military was having some stomach issues, and the family has some issues with gluten sensitivity, gluten intolerance, celiac disease. And so the military has decided to test this particular child for celiac disease, and basically has made the child aware that if they do test positive for celiac disease, that they could very well be discharged from the military. Now, you can imagine, as someone that suffers with celiac disease that volunteered to go to jail to bring awareness to celiac disease, food allergies, and food intolerances, I was livid. Like, what? And so originally, when I found out this information, I was like, well, that doesn't even sound right, because I know that celiac disease is covered under the American Disability Act. And so how could the military just, throw you away because of that? And so when I did a little bit more information, when I dug a little bit deeper, I found out that this could very well be something that could disqualify someone from getting into the military. But not only that, if you are in the military and you test positive, then it could be a reason for you to be discharged. So, this is, according to the U.S. Department of Defense, a person with celiac disease and or a gluten intolerance or sensitivity would not be eligible for entry into the military. You guys heard me correctly. Now, I want to be clear about celiac disease. Celiac disease is a disease that is not controlled by medicine. Celiac disease is a disease that is controlled by diet. The reason I was originally just confused, angry, and just not understanding how this could be the case is because I have a emergency prepared kit that I have. Things happen. So because I have celiac disease, I had to do a lot of research and find military grade food or campers grade food that was gluten free. It wasn't difficult. As I am playing this podcast, you will see a variety of gluten-free options that are available. And when I say gluten-free options, it's gluten-free options for breakfast, gluten-free options for lunch, and there's gluten-free options for dinner. And so knowing that I had ordered these very things, I was confused. Why would this keep you from getting into the military? In addition, why would it disqualify you? So I wanted to dig a little deeper. So I want to share what I found out. We're going to talk about someone who was medically disqualified by the military police, and he had very, very minimum symptoms of celiac disease, and basically was told, well, let me read this part. Medical fitness for the military is governed mainly by the Department of Defense Medical Examination Review Board. A whole bunch of acronyms, a whole bunch of letters, which schedules, evaluates, and certifies that all applicants are medically qualified or as medically does not meet the medical standards for the U.S. service, ROTC scholarship programs, direct commission programs, and the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. So basically, in layman's terms, the current military policy is to reject potential recruits with known celiac disease, and they may, and it's at their discretion, provide some accommodation for some troops that are already in service, and they will also provide medical discharges for other troops as needed that are in the military. Now, here is something to consider. The military doesn't reject you if they don't know you have celiac disease, and they likely won't test you for it unless you press the issue or while you are serving time, you start getting sick or developing symptoms. There is a quote from a soldier that I want to share with you who was rejected due to celiac disease. So he says, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, and the military does not accept people with this disease. I was medically disqualified, and all waiver attempts have been denied. Years of hard work, a 3.9 GPA, a 32 MCAT, and a desire to spend my entire career in the service has been for naught. The most frustrating aspect of this situation is that I have almost no physical symptoms. I'm not on any medicine, and the few symptoms that I have are completely controlled by diet. Yet, even though my disease would not affect my ability to serve, my dreams have come to a screeching halt. How is this fair? This is exactly why I volunteered to be a season 6 participant on 60 Days In, because this affects many, many people. And in the history of 60 Days In, you cannot be a participant if you have a disease or you take medicine, a prescription medicine, because you were there under an alias. So the first time in history with season 6 of 60 Days In, I had the opportunity to go in because this is a disease that is strictly controlled by diet, to see how the criminal justice system deals with people with food allergies and intolerances. Let me pause for a second. So, let's talk about celiac disease being covered by the American Disabilities Act and what exactly that means. So, the American Disability Act does more than just require businesses to provide wheelchair ramps. They have 4 main provisions. It prohibits employment discrimination on the basis of disability. It prohibits discrimination against those with disabilities at the local or state government level. It prohibits discrimination based on disability from businesses that offer goods, services, facilities, or accommodations to the public. And it requires telecommunication companies to take steps to make sure that they can offer functionally equivalent services to individuals with disabilities. So, in 2008, Congress amended the ADA to cover major life activities such as eating. Based on that 2008 expansion, it's clear that both celiac disease and gluten sensitivity fall under the ADA protections, even though they are considered invisible disabilities. It's considered an invisible disability. So what exactly does that mean? So, in theory, it means that if you have celiac disease or you have a gluten sensitivity, that you are covered by the American Disability Act, and that should guarantee that you have access to safe food in situations where you don't have ready access to outside food sources. Examples of this: jail, universities, schools, workplaces. The military needs to be added into this because there are not many provisions that need to be made. Even if these ready-made meals, if somebody has celiac disease, even if they are given these ready-made meals, and if they really want to be in the military, then they have to take on the responsibility of their own meals. I mean, there has to be a workaround for this. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the ADA again before we dive back into the military. So, the ADA applies to colleges where students live on campus and are required to purchase a meal plan. So there was a situation in 2012 where there was a settlement agreement with Lesley University, which is located in Massachusetts, that requires the university to provide a gluten-free and allergen-free food options at the dining halls. The school also had to pay $50,000 worth of damages to the students who had celiac disease or other food allergies. The National Foundation for Celiac Awareness urged other colleges and universities to adopt accommodations similar to those that were outlined in the settlement. So let's talk about what the ADA can and cannot do for people with celiac and gluten sensitivities. The ADA can help you in a problematic hiring situation involving a potential employer. I will tell you, while applying for jobs and, they ask you the disability question, now I am seeing celiac disease listed as a disability on there and gluten sensitivity. So the ADA can help you in a problematic hiring situation involving a potential employer. The ADA can also help because if you have celiac disease, more than likely you're going to need to go to the restroom more than your counterpart. So the ADA likely can help you if you need more frequent restroom breaks at work. The ADA requires that you be provided with safe food in an emergency shelter or in a prison. The ADA will allow you to bring your own gluten-free food to places where safe food won't be available. Hence why I say if someone wants to serve in the military, there are gluten-free options that are available to them where all they got to do is add water. Where if they are on a ship for 3 or 4 months and this is something they want to do and they want to serve their country, don't take that right away from them. Give them this opportunity. The ADA will allow you to bring your own gluten-free food to places where safe food won't be available. Now, the ADA likely can't help you force a restaurant to provide you with gluten-free food. The ADA might be able to help you to force your employer to provide you with a gluten-free option when they are buying everyone else lunch. The ADA won't help you force the school cafeteria to provide gluten-free lunches for your gluten-free child. That is actually covered under another law in Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. The ADA does require that most daycare and private schools accept children with food allergies. So, all in all, the ADA does provide some very, very, very important protections to people like myself that suffer from celiac disease or gluten sensitivity or gluten intolerant. They provide these protections both in employment and public situations. However, it involves a lot of education. When I was on 60 Days In for season 6 of 60 Days In at Etowah County Detention Center, I had to educate them what celiac disease was, what gluten was, and what I could not have. And it was just very upsetting to me that this is something that is covered under the American Disability Act. This is something that should be known at any place that serves food, especially in universities, in jails, in prisons, and in the military. So now I want to go back to the article about the young man that was rejected due to celiac disease. The man points out that military in other countries accept celiac patients, like in Israel. He said the fact that 1% of the population, so nearly 3 million people, have no chance to give their service to their country is a disgrace. I'm going to say it again. The fact that 1% of the population, which is nearly 3 million of the people, have no chance to give their service to their country is a disgrace. And I am in 110% agreement. When I was given this information, and I had a multitude of feelings. from sad to angry. Here you have this young guy that has dedicated his life, and now he may have this taken away from him, not because of something that he did, not because he has to take medicine, but because of a food intolerance that can be controlled easily, and that is covered by the American Disability Act. Are potentially good recruits being turned away unnecessarily? Are existing soldiers covering up the fact that they have this disease because they are so eager to serve our country? Is that fair? I don't think so, but I want to hear from you. Chime in and let me know your thoughts. Drama Queen is out.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.